Hey, this is your badass bookworm, Cassandra Dallett. Trying a little something new with the audio to see if you can hear me better. Today is December 3rd. This is the last book report of 2019, which is only the second book report, but that's okay. We're starting a thing, right? People seem to watch it more than they listened to the podcast last time around, or at least as much. So I'm going to keep it up so that we have a little FaceTime. This week, this Saturday, will be the book club for the book Knucklehead by Adam Smyer. I posted the podcast, the audio with him today on all podcast platforms. There is also a video of me talking with him here on YouTube. He's a great guy. Really found his book interesting. Look forward to seeing what he's going to do next. Join us in reading it and talking about it this Saturday, 7 p.m. And let's see, over the weekend had a wonderful reading with Paul Coleman Roberts, Beasts of Bourbon. Big shout outs to all the poets. James Cagney was fantastic. Red O'Hare, Alexandra Naughton, Juba. I'm totally forgetting somebody. I read. It was one of those readings where I was like, damn, like everybody's fire. Super good reminder of like why we go out for next to nothing on a rainy, cold Sunday night. It was just lovely. It was at the Legionnaire Saloon, which is kind of home base right now. So coming up next, I am not doing a Badass Bookworms Lit Loft for the month of December. I am done for this year. I will resume in January, and that will be January 20th, 2020. 7 p.m. Badass Bookworms Lit Loft. I will have Kimi Sugioka as a feature reader. This is her new book, and I recommend it. She's lovely. She also plays guitar and sings, and she's a wonderful person and great writer. And I will have Carla Sameth, author of One Day at the Gold Line, who's coming all the way from LA to feature. So please come, and I'll have some open mic slots so you can bring your shit as well. But these are powerhouse writer women, people that I have recently met and just come to love. And I hope you do too. And I hope you'll buy their books and read them and come see them and join us on the stage. That's January 20th, 7 p.m., the Legionnaire Saloon, if you're in the Bay Area. I mean, Carla's coming all the way from LA, so you could try to make it out. In the following week at the Legionnaire Saloon, I have my other reading series, Moondrop Productions, that I co-host with Kalechi Bozo. That will be Hindsight 2020 with Moondrop 2020. What I mean by that is this is a themed submission-based reading. So I need you to submit to the Moondrop. Submit writings of any genre with the theme Hindsight 2020. That can be like, what would you do differently? What would you say to a person who is no longer in your life if you had the chance? What would you say to a younger you? A letter to a younger you. What are your regrets or things you would do differently or things that you know now that you didn't know then? Whatever hindsight means to you. And that could be essays, poems, stories, excerpts, as long as you can read it in 4 minutes or under. Because we're gonna have a lot of readers, as we do, and it's always like, we curate it so there's no pause. It just goes boom, 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 boom. And it's always great. It's always like very moving and bonding experience. All of our Moondrops have been pretty amazing. So this is Hindsight 2020. That is January 29th, 7 p.m. at the Legionnaire Saloon at 2272 Telegraph Ave in Oakland, California. So please join us as audience, or please send us your writings. The place to send them is Moondrop Productions Writers at gmail.com. You can always contact me, Cassandra Dallett, and ask what the fuck that email was again if you can't write that down right now. But it's Moondrop Productions Writers at gmail.com. loft.com, and we want your hindsight pieces, and we want you to be available on the date 129 to read the piece that you send us, and hopefully we'll meet some new people. It will be really exciting. We usually do, and I love that. Instead of it, it's nice to see old faces, but it's also nice to meet new people and hear new people, discover new people. So those are the 2 readings coming up, not until the new year. Happy holidays, whatever that means to you. I have 2 more podcasts for this year coming out, and the second one is Kaleshi Bozo and LD Green talking about their book, We've Been Too Patient, and sharing the book, but also we're going to give you advice and resources, and just like kind of a hug for dealing with mental health during the holidays, whether that's dealing with family, dealing with not having family, dealing with loss, trauma, all the things that can go with it. Fucking not having enough money to be on the rat race of consumerism that it is. Whatever it is, there's many things that we all struggle with around this time of year. And it might just be the fact that it's getting dark so early and we don't see the light of day. So we're going to have a conversation. We did have the conversation, but it will be posted December 17th on Badass Bookworm podcast, and you should check it out. I didn't get it videoed, but I do have great audio, and I do recommend their book, and there will be other resources there, hotlines and everything for people having a tough time. So that's how we're going to leave you in 2019, and then we'll start up January with a book club and a couple of great readings. So what else have I been reading? Let's see. I did not yet read Prince the Beautiful Ones, although I have a copy at my bedside. Oh, I have so many Prince books, and Dre just said he got me another one, which I will add to he gave me this one. This is my little dig, if you will. I enjoyed The Most Beautiful, Prince's ex-wife. Not because it was great writing, but because I understood a lot about his losing the baby and what that really did to him, and how that probably had a lot to do with the addiction to painkillers, which, I mean, that, and also hip pain. I've got it. I know how bad that is. It's horrible. Here's a book recommendation from my mom, who sends lots of books and reads voraciously. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. Robin Wall Kimmerer. I can't wait to read it. I started a little bit. I'm going to send a copy to Prison Bay. Prison Bay swears by the book Narrative Medicine, which I forgot to look up the author's name for you, but that is one recommended by Norma Smith, who was on the podcast. And her thing is narrative medicine. So listen to the podcast with her, read anything she writes, and check out that book. I'll have more information for you. Anyways, sort of a theme with We've Been Too Patient, The Body Keeps the Score, narrative medicine, of using indigenous remedies, of stepping outside of classic Eastern medicine, but utilizing what's good in that and throwing out all that's bad, which there's lots of bad, right? So anyways, looking forward to this book. I hope you'll read it with me. I'm almost done with Rock Him. Kind of a how-to and how to write rhymes at first, but then he gets a little bit into his story, and I love to read about old school hip hop stories, who met who, when, and how, and how he met Eric B and all that. It's dope. A future guest on the pod will be Stella Foss, who reached out to me having heard the podcast and wants to be on. Her book is Aphrodite's Pen, The Power of Writing Erotica After Midlife. God, I love that, right? So I'm going to read this erotica, and then we will have her join us. I just did a reading with Kevin Koval from Chicago. Super dope. One of the breakbeat poets. Has 4 or 5 or 6 books out. Does the Louder Than a Bomb, the Chicago Young Authors. Super sweetheart of a guy, but also really good writer and performer. And this is his new book that he was promoting, and it's great. Can't shout him out enough. Had such a good time. It was such an honor to read with him. The book is largely about gentrification in Chicago, which is relatable to all of us. And so Rohan DaCosta and myself read some of our pieces about this neighborhood and gentrification. Couple things published lately. I was in the Sensitive Skin anthology, my poem about Ted Nugent. And so that's enjoyable. There's a ton of really good people in here. And I just got this last night, which is The Scribbler out of Berkeley. And there's 3 little poems for me in here. Not the ones that I thought they were choosy, but that's okay. It's like sort of a flight theme in my little pieces that are here. So check that out if you're local. And I've been catching up on Watchmen. Can't recommend you watch that show enough. Like, that shit is deep. I will have a roundtable with local writers, Vernon Keeve, Sean Taylor, as many specifically Black writers, but I'll try to get a good mix of people to talk about the show, whether they're geeking out on because they're comic book nerds or because they're African American history nerds like myself, or both, ideally. The show is fucking amazing. It blows my mind. I have to watch each one several times to even begin to absorb all that's going on. Regina King is killing it, like next fucking level. So check out Watchmen if you're able. It's on HBO. And I don't know, they have so many damn apps now. I think you can watch it on Apple Plus or whatever the new one is. Just watch Irishman on Netflix. I really enjoyed it. Like, I thought I was sick of Scorsese, but honestly, I loved it. It was really long. I'm glad I watched it on Netflix and not in a theater, but I really enjoyed it very much. It's good to see those guys. I'm like a huge Goodfellas. I've watched Goodfellas more than anything, probably ever. So yeah, totally, that was good. Also, finally watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I thought I was completely over Tarantino, especially his love of the N-word and other annoying factors, but I actually really enjoyed that too. I love the period aspect, and I like that time in history generally. That's when I was born, right? So 69. So I enjoyed it, especially like on Netflix, kicking it on the couch. Maybe would have been long in a theater, but it was perfect for that. Last night I watched the Bookworm documentary. No surprises there. Knew he was a rapist because I watched that Real Sports expose back when, and they are always ahead of everybody else on anything slightly sports related. I really like that show, even though I'm not a sports person. Okay, I'll stop saying those are my watching that comes to mind. I'm really still trying to get to the theater and see Parasite. I haven't seen Joker yet. I want to see the Stephen King one that's related to The Shining, Sleep Doctor or whatever. So yeah, there's quite a few that I just haven't made it to the theater to see, but I will let you know when I do. Listening to The Game's new album. It's good. He's always solid. He might be a jerk. He might be an idiot. He might have a stupid album cover, but he makes good albums. I mean, honestly, it goes. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with the new Lauryn Hill. Like, it's alright, but I won't be putting it in a list of favorites or anything. I'm glad she's working. I'm glad she's doing her thing. Anderson .Paak's new single though, dope. As always, super dope. A whole bunch of good little kind of R&B songs. I made a playlist I will publish on Spotify called One Night Only, with some of my favorite new release slow jams. A little something to, something to listen to. I think that's pretty much it. Join us in Knucklehead. Join us in Hexing the Patriarchy, of course, because that's a great way to start your 2020. Because we have to get this motherfucker out of the White House and get motherfuckers like Bookworm from being in control of the other people, because they're bad. We should be in control. Badasses. Badass bookworms. Yeah, I'll be back in the new year. I'll also have a group of old school San Francisco poets. I think some are in this book. Old Manic D heads, Paradise Lounge heads. We're gonna get together in early January and we'll give you that. And I'm also gonna have some trans performers come and talk, continue a conversation that was started in previous podcasts about Dave Chappelle and transphobia and that, and yeah, just get their perspective. So it's not me, straight white lady, weighing in by myself, but putting the voices that you need to hear, the people that you need to hear, because you know that woman that Dave Chappelle, the trans woman he mentions in his last special as his sort of token trans woman that said this was okay, his comedy was okay, ended up killing herself. So clearly things are not so okay. So let's talk about it. Oh, I'm way away from the mic. You know what? I'm gonna let you go. Ciao for now. I'm gonna see you next month. And I will be in your ears by podcast even sooner. Ciao for now. Or